J Crowley is a former spokesman for the U.S. State Department. He's also the author of Red Line, American Foreign Policy in a Time of Fractured Politics and Failing States. I asked him how he felt about Tillerson's lack of a background in diplomacy.
Clearly, if you're the CEO of a major multinational corporation like ExxonMobil, you've actually done diplomacy. You've got a world-class contact list, and you know how to do deals. Those are relevant skills. But now the question is, when you put Mr. Tillerson and his deputy John Bolton, and it's unclear whether they have the same view of the world or the same view of actors like Russia, but now you put this into a larger team, and the question is, can they fuse together? Will they pull in the same direction? And will they be able to craft appropriate policy options for a president who displays a remarkable lack of curiosity about foreign affairs, at least so far?
Well, you used to work in that building. What's your sense?
I mean, every administration will face a learning curve. I think what we're looking at is that this learning curve is going to be a little bit more significant. I think there's overconfidence there about what they know, a lack of curiosity about what they don't know. And I think there's going to be a rude awakening for the president and his team starting on January 20th.
This Russia story that's been circulating about whether or not there was a cyber attack or not, you would think that the last thing you'd want to do if you were an incoming president is pick someone who's got an honor in Russia, as Tillerson has. Talk to me about that, because that's a very different dynamic than what you see in Washington.
I mean, it's very interesting, and context here matters. The president-elect has chosen Terry Branstad to be the U.S. ambassador to China. He has a very developed relationship with President Xi, and that has been, I think, rightfully, viewed as an asset in terms of the Trump administration's ability to do business with a very significant, global actor. I mean, it remains to be seen whether Mr. Trump and Mr. Branstad have the same view of where to take, China policy. But on the other hand, we're in a situation where Mr. Tillerson has a developed relationship, with Vladimir Putin, and that's not viewed in the same way. And I don't think that Mr. Trump has done his prospective nominee any favors, since the context for this is the possibility, if not the probability, that Russia intervened and interfered in the 2016 campaign, at a minimum did so to try to undermine perceptions of American democracy, may well have done so to help Donald Trump. And so, the fact that Trump ignores the elephant in the room or the bear in the room, I think will intensify the congressional scrutiny when Mr. Tillerson comes up as part of his nomination process.
You mentioned Branstad and China. What do we know about Tillerson's views on China, and how do you see the relationship shifting or changing from a Secretary Tillerson versus a Secretary Kerry?
Well, I mean, every administration, say go back to Richard Nixon, every administration up until now has perhaps railed against China on the campaign trail and then made significant adjustments, once in office.